A tropical low is developing across northern Australia, heavy rainfall, flooding potential, significant impacts for Queensland and the Northern Territory over the next week. The latest from the Bureau of Meteorology shows a classic monsoon trough setup with a low pressure system developing over the Gulf of Carpentaria. Right now, far north Queensland is already feeling it. Mount Carbine recorded 30 degrees this morning with 85% humidity and 5 millimetres of rain. Extremely muggy. That is the moisture-laden air we are dealing with. The monsoon trough extends from the Kimberley right across to the Coral Sea. What is significant is the low pressure centre developing within this trough. Sea surface temperatures in the Gulf are around 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. Warm enough to support intensification. The access model shows this low tracking eastward over 72 hours, moving across Cape York Peninsula, then into the Coral Sea by Friday. The European and GFS models agree on the general track. That consistency increases forecast confidence. Will it become a tropical cyclone? Conditions are marginal. We've got warm water and low-level convergence, but upper atmosphere wind shear could inhibit development. Most likely we're re-looking at a strong tropical low rather than a cyclone. Still, a significant system capable of heavy rainfall. The rainfall is the main concern. Atmospheric moisture content is exceptionally high. Precipitable water values are 60 to 65 millimetres across the region, well above the typical 40 to 50 millimetres for wet season conditions. The Bureau's forecasts show widespread totals of 100 to 200 millimetres across far north Queensland and the top end. Localised areas could see 300 to 400 millimetres, particularly where thunderstorms repeat or the low stalls. Coastal North Queensland from Cairns north to Cooktown and across to Gulf communities will see the heaviest rain. The ranges will enhance rainfall through orographic lifting. The Daintree, Atherton, Tablelands, Innisfail and Tully regions are all in the firing line. Timing breakdown. Today, Tuesday, showers and storms develop across the Gulf and Western Cape York, totals of 20 to 40 millimetres. Wednesday, the low intensifies. Organised rainfall moves across central Cape York and Gulf communities. 50 to 100 millimetres expected. Thursday is the peak day. The low positions over Northern Peninsula or offshore in the Coral Sea. Cairns, Port Douglas, Daintree, Cooktown all see heavy to intense rainfall. 100 to 200 millimetres likely. Localised areas possibly exceeding 300 millimetres. Friday, the system tracks east into the Coral Sea. Rainfall eases across the peninsula but remains heavy along the coast from Cairns to Townsville. By the weekend, the main system should be offshore, but showers and storms continue across the northern tropics. Flooding is the primary concern. Many rivers are already running high from recent rainfall. The Daintree, Mossman and Barron rivers can rise rapidly. Gulf rivers like the Norman will flood extensively. If it's flooded, forget it. Never drive through floodwater. Wind gusts of 60 to 100 kilometres per hour are expected, enough to bring down branches and cause minor damage. Coastal areas will see higher gusts. Marine conditions deteriorate significantly with seas building to 3 to 5 metres. Historical context. Similar tropical lows have produced significant impacts without reaching cyclone intensity. January 2009 saw a low bring flooding to North Queensland with over 500 millimetres in 3 days. February 2023, another monsoon low dumped 350 millimetres on Burketown in 48 hours. This system has similar potential. Practical preparations. Stock up on essentials now. Non-perishable food, water, medications. Assume 3 to 5 days isolated. Fuel up vehicles and generators. Charge all devices, secure important documents in waterproof containers, move livestock to higher ground early, check your emergency kit. Power outages are likely. Energex and Ergon crews will be ready, but repairs take time in severe weather. Be prepared for 12 to 24 hours without power. Check on elderly neighbours and mates. Make sure they re-prepared. If they in flood-prone areas, help them relocate. The sense of community in the north is strong. Use it. Let me address model uncertainty. I mentioned earlier that there's good agreement on track, but uncertainty on intensity. That uncertainty matters. If this system intensifies more than currently forecast and does become a tropical cyclone, the impacts escalate. Wind damage becomes more severe, storm surge increases, rainfall could be even heavier in some areas. The Bureau will update their forecasts every 6 hours. I'll be monitoring as well. If there are significant changes, you will see updates. Don T rely on a single forecast. Check regularly for the latest information. Conversely, if the system weakens or tracks differently, impacts could be less severe than forecast. But planning for the worst and hoping for the best is the sensible approach. The extended outlook beyond this system shows continued active monsoon conditions. This tropical low is not a one-off event. The monsoon trough remains in place. We're likely to see continued showers and thunderstorms across the north throughout February. Soil moisture is already at saturation point in many areas. River levels are high. Any additional heavy rainfall events will cause flooding more quickly than usual. The flood risk doesn't end when this system moves through. For those planning travel in the coming weeks, understand that conditions across northern Australia will remain unsettled. Roads that are open today might be cut tomorrow. Flights can be cancelled due to weather. Build flexibility into your plans. The seasonal outlook from the Bureau shows above average rainfall likely for northern Australia through the rest of the wet season. That's partly influenced by La Niña conditions in the Pacific, although we are moving towards neutral ENSO conditions. The Indian Ocean dipole is also in a neutral phase. What this means practically is that we are in for an active wet season. This tropical low is part of that broader pattern. I want to emphasize again, this is not about panic. This is about preparation. You live in the tropics, you understand wet season weather. This is a significant system, but it's manageable with proper preparation. The key points to remember: heavy rainfall, 100 to 200 millimetres, widely higher in some areas. Flooding likely, particularly in river catchments and low-lying areas. Roads will be cut. Prepare to be isolated. Strong wind gusts, 60 to 100 kilometres per hour. Power outages possible, coastal inundation in some areas. Timing Wednesday through Friday are the worst days. Coastal North Queensland, Cape York and Gulf communities are the main impact zones. The top end will also see significant rainfall. Official warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology will provide the most accurate and up-to-date information. Monitor their website, check the warnings regularly. If a flood warning is issued for your area, act on it. State emergency services will be on standby. If you need assistance, that's who to call. But don't wait until you are in trouble. Prepare now while you can. This is a reminder that we are in the middle of the wet season. This is what wet season weather looks like in the north. For those of you who've lived there for decades, you've seen this before. For newer residents, this is your education in tropical weather. The system will pass. By early next week, conditions should begin to settle. Rivers will take longer to recede. Some roads might remain cut for a week or more, depending on how much rain falls, but the active weather will ease. In the meantime, stay safe, stay informed, and look after each other. That's what gets communities through these events. I'll continue monitoring this system and provide updates as the situation develops. The Bureau's forecasts are the official source. My analysis is based on their data, plus independent examination of the models. For Cairns and the immediate surrounds, you are right in the crosshairs for Thursday. The Barron River system runs right through your catchment. When you get 100 millimetres plus in the ranges above Coranda, that water comes down fast. If you are in low-lying areas near the river in Edmonton or Bentley Park, you know what happens. The Mulgrave and Russell Rivers, same story. Gordonvale, Babinda see flooding regularly when the ranges cop heavy rain. Port Douglas and the coastal strip north to Cooktown, the Daintree River can rise dramatically. The ferry crossing becomes impassable. If you are north of the Daintree and need to come south, do it before Wednesday evening. Mossman Gorge area, you are in the ranges where orographic rainfall enhancement occurs. You will likely see some of the highest totals. Stay well away from the river during this event. Innisfail and Tully, you are further south, but still in the impact zone on Friday. The Johnstone River system can cause significant town flooding. Cape York communities, you re-isolated at the best of times. Cohen, Laura, Lakeland, the Peninsula Developmental Road will be cut in multiple locations. Stock up now. Gulf communities from Katoomba to Normanton and Mount Isa, this system tracks right across your region. The Norman River can flood extensively. Normanton sits in a very flat catchment. Access becomes cut. Northern Territory, top end, will experience this as enhancement of existing monsoon activity. Darwin, you've already had a wet start to the year. Totals of 100 to 150 millimetres likely through Wednesday and Thursday. Katherine and surrounding areas are in line for significant totals. The Katherine River is already flowing well from recent rain. Additional heavy falls could cause renewed rises. Specific scenarios and what to do. Scenario 1. You are travelling when the road becomes boggy. Push on hoping it gets better. Turn back while you can. If you're already committed, find the highest ground and wait it out. You might be there for days. Scenario 2. The creek near your property starts to rise. Don't wait until water's at your door. If the creek is rising rapidly and you're in a flood-prone area, leave early, go to higher ground or stay with family who aren't at risk. Scenario 3. You lose power during the storm. Check if it's widespread, report it to Ergon Energy or Power and Water Corporation. Don't expect immediate restoration during severe weather. This is where your generator becomes valuable. Scenario 4. You re-advise to evacuate but don't want to leave. If the SES issues an evacuation order, they're redoing it because lives are at risk. Your life is more valuable than any property or stock. Scenario 5. The rain has stopped but the road is still flooded. Just because the rain has stopped doesn't mean the water level has peaked. Catchments upstream might still be draining. Wait for official advice that roads have reopened. Agricultural impacts will be mixed. Banana growers in Tully and Innisfail face potential crop damage if wind gusts are strong enough. Sugarcane growers, depending on your growing cycle, this could help or hurt. Cattle on low ground need to be moved early. Stock losses from flooding are preventable with early action. Tourism operators' reef trips will be cancelled. Rainforest walks become hazardous. Creek crossings impossible. Mining operations will deal with wet weather protocols. Mental health during these events matters. Being isolated, dealing with damage, losing stock or crops takes a toll. Reach out to mates. Check on each other. Services like Lifeline are available if you are struggling. Pets should be brought inside or into secure shelters. Don't leave dogs chained up outside. Livestock need to be on higher ground. Move them early while you can do it safely. Recovery will take time. Flooded houses need structural assessment. Document everything with photos before cleaning up for insurance claims. Roads will take a week or more to repair after rain stops. Model uncertainty matters here. There's good agreement on track, but uncertainty on intensity. If this system intensifies more than currently forecast and does become a tropical cyclone, impacts escalate. Wind damage becomes more severe. Storm surge increases. Rainfall could be even heavier in some areas. The Bureau will update forecasts every 6 hours. I'll be monitoring as well. Check regularly for the latest information. Don't rely on a single forecast from days ago. The extended outlook beyond this system shows continued active monsoon conditions. This tropical low is not a one-off event. The monsoon trough remains in place. We're likely to see continued showers and thunderstorms across the north throughout February. Soil moisture is already at saturation point in many areas. River levels are high. Any additional heavy rainfall events will cause flooding more quickly than usual. The flood risk doesn't end when this system moves through. For those planning travel in the coming weeks, understand that conditions across northern Australia will remain unsettled. Roads that are open today might be cut tomorrow. Flights can be cancelled due to weather. Build flexibility into your plans. One final thought on building resilience. Northern Australia experiences significant wet season rainfall events every year. Understanding your risk, preparing adequately, and having systems in place to cope makes all the difference. It means infrastructure that can handle these events, emergency plans that work, and communities that support each other. Model uncertainty matters. I mentioned good agreement on track, but uncertainty on intensity. If this system intensifies more than currently forecast and does become a tropical cyclone, the impacts escalate. Wind damage becomes more severe. Storm surge increases. Rainfall could be even heavier. The Bureau will update their forecasts every 6 hours. Check regularly for the latest information. Don't rely on a single forecast. The extended outlook shows continued active monsoon conditions. This tropical low is not a one-off event. The monsoon trough remains in place. We're likely to see continued showers and thunderstorms across the north throughout February. Soil moisture is already at saturation point in many areas. River levels are high. Any additional heavy rainfall events will cause flooding more quickly than usual. The flood risk doesn't end when this system moves through. One final thought on building resilience. Northern Australia experiences significant wet season rainfall events every year. Understanding your risk, preparing adequately, and having systems in place to cope makes all the difference. This event will pass, the sun will come out, the rivers will recede, life will return to normal, but the lessons from it should inform how we prepare for the next one. This is significant weather. Treat it with the respect it deserves. Prepare properly, act sensibly, and we'll all get through it fine. I'll be monitoring this system closely and providing updates as conditions develop. The Bureau of Meteorology remains your primary source for official warnings and forecasts. Check their website regularly. Stay safe out there. Look after yourselves, look after your mates, and look after your community